A final note labeled the metahumans on Earth as humans evolved into destructive beings. The skull-robed leader confirmed the plan to send nobles to Earth and reshape the world. He ordered Desmond Rodrich to remain and defend Hela's penance palace. Kang Hyuk stood at the threshold with cold red eyes and refused to escort everyone. He warned against moving alone and offered to call for limited help. He labeled the metahumans as evolved humans turned destructive. Kang Hyuk noted that some attackers had killed Kang Min and found the situation intriguing. He said he could cut down threats inside the palace. Kang Min then appeared through a blue portal and questioned leaving the palace for Earth. A pale man asked Kang Hyuk if he felt any emotion after recent events. Kang Hyuk replied simply yes and remained composed beneath the red storm. He remembered being born without feeling and how that shaped his choices. He admitted his restraint had honed him into a dangerous force. He dismissed the thought and extended a hand toward his companion. A blue portal opened and a figure stepped through into cold light. They closed the distance and embraced beneath the portal's glow without words. Kang Hyuk accepted the pale man's embrace beneath the portal's cold light. The pale man told him he hoped Kang would feel comfortable living on Earth someday. Kang wondered if Earth could ever be comfortable and remembered it had not been at school or work. He felt the more people there were, the stronger his itch to kill became. He acknowledged that urge had shaped his restraint and choices. He thought of Gray as a target and noted hands could not understand this feeling. The pale man lifted a hand toward the portal's blue glow. A voice said they would not be able to see each other unless he came to Earth. Someone pleaded with him to think about it and called him Big Brother. A pale man stood beside a swirling blue portal and lifted his hand toward its glow. Kang Hyuk watched as the portal opened and light spilled across the ground. He stepped forward and announced he was Kang Hyuk, the ultimate necromancer of Hela. He declared himself the one who controlled death and the ruler of the dead. Kang Hyuk stood by the swirling blue portal as light spilled across stone. A hooded skeleton addressed him and announced that the gate to Earth had opened. Kang Hyuk gripped his skull-top staff and vowed to come to Earth again. He reaffirmed his claim over death and his rule of the dead. The portal's glow lingered on the ground. A title panel declared his return, and the scene cut to Seoul under heavy rain as the story shifted to Earth. Kang Hyuk's portal had opened above the city, and a title announced his return. The scene shifted to Seoul under steady rain as narrow alleys glistened beneath neon reflections. A blue rupture tore open in an alley and light punched downward, scattering water and debris. A spectral hand formed in the burst, then faded as energy licked the pavement. Kang Hyuk emerged amid electric sparks, his eyes glowing red and his fingers pressed against his chest. He stood silent and unblinking while storm and light circled him, a sovereign returned to Earth. Kang Hyuk had returned through a glowing portal above the city, and rain fell over narrow alleys. A blue rupture tore open the pavement, and spectral energy cracked around him as he stood unblinking. A cloaked attendant appeared and addressed him as Lord, confirming his safe return and the noble's readiness. Kang Hyuk asked how much power he could use on Earth right now. Desmond Rodrich assured him his full power would pass through the atmosphere without issue. Kang Hyuk approved, and Desmond vowed to be his eyes and ears on Earth. Kang Hyuk stood under hard rain facing a tall government building and its emblem. He remembered that Earth had changed drastically since the incident 15 years prior. Metahumans now populated cities, and dungeons and monsters crawled into the world. Those phenomena had appeared just before he was forcibly transported to Hela. His thoughts turned to Kang Min and the Association's inevitable knowledge of the death. His eyes glowed red, and a blue energy flare raced up the tower facade. Lightning cracked and rain washed the street as he prepared to act. Kang Hyuk stood beneath stormy skies as two glowing portals opened above the tower. Lightning arced between the portals and struck the tower's facade with bright force. Rain blurred the distant signs, while electric currents traced the wet air. Portals had first appeared many years earlier, and summoned humans began to reappear. 3 figures stood on the street with summoned energies and a fiend behind them. Kang Hyuk's eyes flared, and a blue energy flare ran up the tower's side. They were called returners, and they gathered ready under the portal's glow. Kang Hyuk had stood beneath stormy skies as two glowing portals opened above a tower. Lightning arced between the portals and struck the tower's facade with bright force. Rain blurred distant signs, while electric currents traced the wet air across the street. Returners had first appeared years earlier, and summoned humans began reappearing in the city. Three figures stood with summoned energy, and a fiend loomed behind them. Kang Hyuk's eyes flared, and a blue energy flare climbed the tower's side. The perspective then shifted to Seachodong, where a tall office tower rose above the block. The panel labeled it the Hunter Association and warned such groups typically held massive power. Kang Hyuk entered the Hunter Association lobby under soft light from the tall windows. He believed the association could not be unaware of Kang Min's death. Two receptionists stood behind the desk and cordially welcomed him into the building. He recalled Kang Min's status as the most powerful being on Earth before his death. Kang Hyuk kept his stance measured and his expression unreadable as he prepared to ask questions. The earlier storm and portal incidents remained in his thoughts but did not alter his purpose. Kang Hyuk approached the reception desk and demanded someone who knew Kang Min. The receptionists clarified if he meant the S-Class hunter who had died and asked how he was related. Kang Hyuk stated Kang Min was his younger brother. The staff exchanged surprised whispers and noted official records listed no family. One receptionist suggested perhaps Kang Min chose not to return to Earth. Kang Hyuk narrowed his eyes and told them to wait. He privately considered Kang Min's past ties and the risk of revealing certain powers. Kang Hyuk had approached the reception desk and demanded to speak with someone who knew Kang Min. The receptionists clarified if he meant the S-Class hunter and noted official records listed no family. They suggested Kang Min might have chosen not to return to Earth. Kang Hyuk said he was Kang Min's older brother. He kept his expression guarded while weighing what to reveal. A man hurried in, catching his breath, and apologized for being late. He introduced himself as Hwang Sangwook, head of the Accident Management Department. Hwang asked directly if Kang Hyuk was Kang Min's older brother. Kang Hyuk approached the reception desk and demanded anyone who knew Kang Min. The receptionists asked if he meant the S-Class hunter and noted official records listed no family. He insisted he was Kang Min's older brother and kept his expression guarded. Hwang Sangwook arrived and asked directly if Kang Hyuk was the brother. Kang Hyuk then demanded, "Where's my brother's body?" The staff hesitated and said they would need to confirm his identity because many had come claiming relation after Kang Min's death. Kang Hyuk said he was an A-class hunter and asked to be led. Kang Hyuk pushed through to the association's interior and demanded Kang Min's body and records. The receptionists reiterated that many had claimed kinship after Kang Min's death and that official files listed no family. Hwang Sangwook said they required proof and that the association had already vetted similar claims. Staff explained Kang Min had amassed vast wealth and that opportunists had tried to inherit it by false relation. They said control tests had exposed those false claims. A staff member swiped an access card and the door opened. A suited representative welcomed Kang Hyuk and invited him to take a genetic test in the lab. A title card flashed as Kang Hyuk entered the lab and sat for testing. A gloved hand drew his blood while staff prepared the analysis. The representative said the hunter's mana would speed the genetic test. She added they could conclude he was a metahuman and Kang Min's blood relative. Machines processed the sample and then announced he had passed the test. Kang Hyuk froze in the chair while a nearby claimant managed a nervous smile. The staff moved to final paperwork and sealed his confirmed status. After the lab confirmed his status, the representative led Kang Hyuk up to another floor. She said she had much to explain and pressed her point quickly. She reminded everyone he was the only bereaved family member of Kang Min. She noticed his wet clothes and ordered a change be brought from accident management. She told an aide to call General Affairs immediately for the transfer. They walked a short corridor and passed a door labeled Hwang Sangwook on the way. Kang Hyuk entered the small office, then removed his wet coat with careful hands. He buttoned a dry shirt and stood composed while he waited patiently. The representative checked documents and prepared the next steps and the paperwork. After the representative prepared the paperwork, Kang Hyuk waited inside the small office. Outside, two receptionists leaned by the window and exchanged quiet questions about him. They mentioned Kang Min's older brother and recalled how Kang Min had been summoned elsewhere. One receptionist said only Kang Min returned while his brother chose to remain behind. They wondered how the brother could be alive and noted his pale appearance. Inside, Kang Hyuk adjusted his jacket and looked away from the window. He remained calm and composed while whispers circled the office about his past. After the whispers circled the small office, the receptionists were scolded and hurried away. Kang Hyuk adjusted his jacket, looked toward the window, and kept his face composed. A suited representative approached and apologized for the disturbance with measured formality. He said he had reported Kang Hyuk's arrival to the association president and sought permission. He explained hunter records were classified like national combat intelligence and could not be disclosed. Kang Min's abilities, achievements, and missions were especially sealed under that rule. Kang Hyuk listened without reply, and the corridor held its quiet tension. Kang Hyuk remained still as the representative straightened and produced a slim dossier. The representative explained that family requests could unlock personal records, but only under strict conditions. He handed Kang Hyuk a sealed file and added that there were further files not included. Kang Hyuk asked if his brother had been kept under surveillance. The representative denied surveillance and clarified the association did not monitor hunters. He argued the association managed hunters because their power formed a core of national strength. Kang Hyuk received the file without reply and watched the man leave. Kang Hyuk accepted the sealed file and listened as the representative outlined policy. The man said the association did not investigate hunters' private lives, only recorded basics. Kang Hyuk demanded to know the cause of Kang Min's death without speaking. The representative replied that Kang Min had been on a mission at the time. He explained an unprecedented large-scale dungeon had appeared and a multinational raid followed. Forces from South Korea, Japan, Russia, the United States, and China had joined. Kang Hyuk looked through the file as the representative described hunters clashing with a draconic foe. Kang Hyuk accepted the sealed file and listened as the representative explained the association's record-keeping. The man said they did not investigate hunters' private lives. He described Kang Min's mission during a multinational raid against a draconic dungeon. The representative called Kang Min's death an unfortunate accident. Kang Hyuk refused the claim and kept reading, his expression controlled. He recalled seeing his brother's bloody corpse and believed Kang Min had been murdered, not killed by accident. He noted the association's limited role and the unresolved questions about the body's return. Kang Hyuk accepted a small key from the representative, who pointed out the apartment address. The man invited him to look around and rest before leaving. Kang Hyuk studied the key and resolved to get to the bottom of the matter. He folded the sealed file and kept his expression controlled. The representative said he would see him around and then departed. As the door closed, Kang Hyuk noticed a smear of dried blood on the frame, a stark reminder that questions about Kang Min's return remained unresolved. Kang Hyuk stood silent as the representative left and the door closed behind him. He noticed the dried blood on the frame and felt anger sharpen at the man's casual leave. He gritted his teeth and told himself to be careful around the representative despite appearing composed. He later stepped onto the balcony as storm clouds gathered above the building. Lightning cracked and the narration reminded him that Kang Min had returned, possessing unparalleled power. It suggested Kang Min and Kang Hyuk had been summoned together. Therefore, Kang Hyuk might also possess comparable power. Kang Hyuk stood on the balcony as storm clouds gathered above the city. He remembered the representative's exit and the dried blood on the doorframe. A caption described the older brother as the world's strongest hunter and the hero who saved Earth. Lightning cracked across the sky while Kang Hyuk watched, his red eyes catching the flash. A dark voice predicted that soon the Republic and the entire world would be in uproar. He accepted that Kang Min had returned with unmatched power and that their summoning bound them. That night, Kang Hyuk arrived at Kang Min's apartment high above the city. City lights glimmered beneath the high-rise and windows glowed across blocks. He sat on the couch and examined the neat shelves across the room. A cloaked figure stood nearby, only the hem and shadow reached the floor. Kang Hyuk kept a file on his lap and did not rise. His red eyes flickered as he measured the figure and remembered earlier warnings. Silence settled between them while he held the thought that Kang Min had returned. Kang Hyuk turned the pages and examined glossy photos from Kang Min's phone and album. The pictures showed Kang Min smiling with a second man and posing together as close allies. Hyuk paused when he recognized the man's face in earlier files and noted the same ring. He saw matching tattoos on their left chests and concluded they likely belonged to the same guild. Hyuk cross-checked the marks against the documents he had been studying that night. The evidence fit. He mouthed awe and tightened his grip on the papers. Kang Hyuk had confirmed the match between Kang Min and the other man. He tightened his grip on the papers. The top page bore a gilt crest that matched documents he'd seen earlier. He clipped the documents and said gotcha. He left the room and drove without delay. Signs marked Xiachodong, an arrest area, as he accelerated. The car surged and tires screamed across the overpass. Inside the cabin, his face stayed blank. His jaw was set, his red eyes fixed on the road. He did not slow. Kang Hyuk confirmed the match and clipped the papers before leaving without hesitation. He drove fast through Xiachodong. Tires screamed while his face remained blank and set. He parked at the reception and read the photo, resolving to find his brother's truth. He showed the receptionist a picture and asked where the other hunter could be found. She named him Hunter Hwang Kyuho, but said he had gone to Sinsa Station. She refused to let him see the hunter, citing ongoing gate shutdown duties. Kang Hyuk showed the receptionist the photo and asked where Hunter Hwang Kyuho could be found. She named Hwang Kyuho and said he had gone to Sinsa Station but refused access. He left and walked toward Sinsa Station without hesitation. At the station, he paused at the entrance and surveyed the public gate. A caption called it a gate, but stated it was actually a portal to a dimensional dungeon. Compared to Hellamana, near the gate was easy to detect on Earth. Kang Hyuk descended the stairs with his face blank and resolve steady. Kang Hyuk had descended the stairs with a blank face and steady resolve. He moved past the taped entrance where security posted a warning. A guard noticed him. The guards shouted and raised a baton to stop him, but he did not turn. Two guards whispered that he resembled the late hunter Kang Min. They recalled Hwang Sangwook's comment about a surviving blood relative. The suspicions stiffened their posture and voices. Kang Hyuk walked forward and stopped before a crackling blue portal. Mana flowed from the fissure and cast him in harsh light as he faced the gateway. Kang Hyuk descended the stairs with a blank face and steady resolve. He passed the taped entrance while security posted warnings. A guard noticed and called his name as he neared the fissure. Mana pulsed from the blue portal and lit his face. A receptionist stammered a guarded greeting and warned the area was dangerous. Kang Hyuk asked whether any hunters were inside. The receptionist confirmed that Hunter Hwang Kyuho, leader of Garage Guild's first attack squad, was raiding the dungeon. Kang Hyuk acknowledged and stepped toward the gateway without hesitation. Receptionists protested that only registered hunters could enter and warned Kang Hyuk to stop. They argued the A-rank dungeon admitted only listed hunters and said Kang Min's brother should qualify. A staffer then reported that Hunter Hwang Kyuho was already inside the raid. A silhouette moved through the portal, and the guards shouted in alarm. Kang Hyuk gathered crimson mana around his body and resolved to enter despite the objections. He stepped into the portal's light and vanished. The receptionists exchanged tired looks and said they would report the unauthorized entry to higher-ups. After slipping through the portal, Kang Hyuk emerged into a narrow chamber veined with red light. The floor trembled and a slender fissure crawled across stone with a wet crack. He stood upright among scattered bones and dark residue, crimson glow pooling around him. A man crouched wounded behind him, blood staining his shirt. Kang Hyuk brought a finger to his lips and listened, eyes scanning the corridor. He judged the atmosphere colder than hella yet workable. He shifted his weight and peered toward a distant direction before moving deeper into the dungeon. After slipping through the portal, Kang Hyuk emerged into a narrow chamber veined with red light. The floor had trembled, and a slender fissure crawled across stone with a wet crack. He stood among scattered bones and a massive skull that dominated the chamber. He stepped closer and inspected the skull's hollow eye, then turned to take in rib arches and bloodstains. He lifted his hand, cool blue motes gathered above his palm. He spoke a single command, "Arise," and the glow swelled toward the piled bones, heavy with intent. Kang Hyuk's command had finished its sweep through the chamber. Bone fragments and shards spun in cold blue light and snapped together into skulls and rib arches. He stayed at the center of the circle as skeletons reassembled and straightened, their eye sockets glowing a hard red.